guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We're back here at Moss Acura of North Tampa, and guess what? We keep bringing the new redesigned vehicles to you. This is the all-new 2021 Acura TLX. This particular one, as you can see from that side badge, is the A-Spec, and we have the SH, which stands for Super Handling All-Wheel Drive. But before we dive into this totally new mid-size sedan from Acura, redesigned for 2021, let's talk about its roots. So Acura's been around since 1986. We all know that. We've been talking about that here on Rady's Rides for quite a while now. But one thing maybe you don't know is that it started with the Vigor, the Acura Vigor, then it went to the TL. TLX did not come around until 2015. Now, even though a lot of people felt it was a fantastic car, they were wanting a change. They were wanting more. And boy, oh boy, is Acura delivering with that precision crafted performance and giving you a TLX that, guess what, is 2.9 inches longer, over 2 inches wider, and about a half an inch lower. This chassis that it sits on is all new, of course, and it is a TLX exclusive. So if you're thinking that this TLX is sitting on the same chassis as a Honda Accord, guess what? You're wrong. This is unique to the all-new TLX, 50% stiffer, and boy, oh boy, some changes all the way around and especially underneath that sheet metal. So let's go ahead, let's dive into this TLX A-Spec and see, is it a true sports sedan? Right off the bat, the styling. It just looks so great, almost more mature in a way, like the TLX has come of age. When we start up front, at the front of the business, you're gonna get that signature of the Acura brand, that dual LED headlight, multi-LED beam headlight setup. I love the way they designed the shape of the headlight housing. And another touch that is a signature of Acura is the Apex daytime running lamps. First of all, I love the way they use the word Apex. Apex deals with a race course, that perfect sweet spot of a corner, and really gives it a great overall look. And the way that it flows with the headlight housing into that chicane part and then back up, just really, really nice attention to detail. When you look at the front fascia, you can see the work that they did with the 2021, how you pick up a body line here and then it flares out. We work our way down. You do have a functional side air curtain, but one zonk that I am gonna give it is this fake grille design. I wish that they would have done something a little bit different, maybe even smooth it out, but I do really dig the way they have this nice, now it's gloss black, which matches perfectly with our black TLX, but the way that it kind of wraps around and forms that air curtain looks really, really sharp. You have your lower fog lamp, so you're really gonna get some great illumination off the front of the TLX. Now, as you come across the all-new grille, you can see the width. Remember, over 2 inches wider. Love the way you have the flat black grille. Everything is kind of pulling away from that Acura logo. On the A-Spec, you're gonna get gloss black around the perimeter of the grille, which, like I said, just like with those corner vent areas, it matches perfect with this particular color. Flat black, large opening, and remember, we're talking about all new engine in the TLX. They took it right from the RDX. It's that detuned Type R motor, so that means you're gonna get that large aluminum intercooler that's peeking behind this massive opening. The one thing I would have liked to have seen is on the A-Spec, maybe a little bit of a lip spoiler that goes across the bottom. But other than that, lower, wider, and looking very, very seductive. Now, when you get up onto the hood, you can see how they pick up that body line right at the point, take it up onto the front fascia, and all the way into the hood to where it fades away as you get to the windshield. Also on the corners, look at how they pick it up on the front fascia into the hood. Now, what I like is it actually curves. The peak stays high and curves and then goes towards the windshield. Really shows that attention to detail that I think Acura is really mixing in the bag with that precision crafted performance to where you're gonna get a TLX that's gonna be like none other you've experienced before. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So this is a 19-inch wheel specific to the A-Spec trim. This color is called Shark Gray. It actually If you look at a great white shark, that's the color. They put it on the wheel. Split spoke design, looking clean with our black TLX A-Spec. Now, if you're wondering, well, what's the width of these tires? They're actually pretty meaty. It's a 255 on the width, 40 series sidewall. So you're gonna get, you know, not too little, but not too much of a sidewall, which gives it an extra sporty look, and that's gonna help with handling. What's really gonna help with handling is, guess what? They brought back the double wishbone suspension. So up front, you're gonna get all new suspension geometry, components. Out back, you still get that multi-link rear suspension, and you are dealing with 13-inch rotors up front, 12-inch rotors out back. Gonna give you some nice braking capability. And talking about braking, you actually get brake-by-wire that's been taken right from the NSX. So NSX technology and engineering on the TLX. I love that about Acura, how that all trickles through all their models. Now, as we go down the fender, you're gonna get a nice badge. Placement is tasteful. A-Spec looking good with the red, really like the touches. Along the bottom, you got simple but definitive. It's got a nice definitive line here on the lower sill, but nothing too crazy. Little bit of gloss black, everything is flat black. You got your standard size sunroof, color matching shark fin antenna. There's a little bit more of the gloss black. I really love the belt line, how it kind of rises up into the door handle, and then it comes all the way to the rear, and you have this multi-level to it, which almost gives it almost like a flared fender look. Because remember, 255s, all four corners. That's a first on this TLX for sure. Now, when we come around the bend on the A-Spec, you're getting this really aggressive but stunning trunklet spoiler. I love the way they kind of cut out a little bit of the center portion here, but it's got a nice rise. TLX badge, SH all-wheel drive, gonna keep us stuck to the ground. And out back, just like out front, the way they flared out the rear, you got your DOT required reflectors. I like the way they dropped those in. Exhausts, I wish for the A-Spec they would have been something a little different than from the standard TLX, but the way that it flows nicely into the lower bumper area actually looks super clean. When the Type S comes out in February, expect a major difference between what you see here and what you get on the Type S. As we come around across the bottom, this is all gonna be unique to the A-Spec, this lower bumper area, but you got your A-Spec badge and the all new taillights. They knocked it out of the park. The shape, the style, LED lighting, even the way they took the Acura badge and it's nice and flush, looks really great. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering this TLX A-Spec. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have two hydraulic hood struts. Before we dive in, one thing that's new for 2021 is you don't have an engine choice when you go TLX unless you go Type S. If you go Type S, that'll have a V6 turbocharged power plant. What we have though, we got rid of the inline-4 naturally aspirated engine. We got rid of the naturally aspirated V6. And what we do have, as you can see, like I mentioned earlier, is that engine plucked right from the RDX. It's a detuned Type R motor. So you're looking at a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, 272 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a new transmission for the TLX. It's that 10-speed automatic that was in the RDX. It's now in the TLX. 0 to 60 with the super handling all-wheel drive is 5.7 seconds. Now the vehicle does weigh 200 pounds more than the outgoing TLX, so that brings the weight up to 3,929 pounds. MPGs 21 in the city and 29 on the highway. Looking underneath the hood, I always like the simple but tasteful engine cover. One thing I want to have Victor kind of point out is if you look where my hand is, you can see how much extra room they have built in for that V6 with the turbocharged engine that is going to be coming with the Type S. One thing that's also cool is if you look closely, you can see the drive shaft going from the back of the engine and transmission towards the rear of the vehicle because, like I said, this has that super handling all-wheel drive. It's mechanical. It's not an electric motor or anything out back. You actually have a drive shaft. But why don't we go ahead? Big things happening underneath the hood. Definitely big things on the exterior. Let's get to the interior and see what amazing things the A-Spec trim brings to the TLX table. All right, guys, we're inside the 2021 Acura TLX A-Spec SH all-wheel drive. I know you're at that point where you're like, Joe, I'm looking for a new midsize. The one I have is really boring. This looks so stylish and seductive, especially with the black paint on this particular A-Spec. How much is it? MSRP for this particular one is $47,665. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. Love the soft touch up top. When you go A-Spec, you're getting the beautiful aluminum accent trim all over that top portion of the door panel. You work your way down to the midsection, soft touch. The red stitching pops perfectly. You get your ELS Studio 3D sound system with those very, very classy speaker grill covers there. And then the door pocket is a great size. You're gonna be able to fit a bottle of milk and a whole package of Chips Ahoy's chocolate chip cookies. Just don't make any crumbs in this beautiful interior, because I know if it was mine, you wouldn't be eating any cookies in this car. Now, when you get to the dash, one thing I like that they did is they brought the height of the dash down. I'm really digging that, because it gives such a great view out the windshield. Plus, it actually organizes the space really well. Soft touch, the red stitching. Look at the way they brought the silver. Even the way they kind of came in with the flat black and then angled the AC vent. Soft touch here. We open up the glove box. Great size. You can load. You could easily put a bag of Doritos in there. Full size bag of Doritos. Don't go two, because you're gonna crack up your chips real easy. But close that up. Real nice and clean. All new for 2021. So you're getting that 10.2-inch infotainment system screen. Love the navigation. You have your other screen on the side, which you could scroll through different information. I'm going to show you how that works in a second. I'll throw it into reverse. There's our backup camera. Nice and clear with trajectory, which is great. I put it back into park. Let me show you drive modes. You like drive modes? Look at this. It actually shows up on the screen. Comfort, normal, and sport. Really digging that. The graphics, it looks like a video game. It looks that amazing. Now, as you kind of toggle down, you're going to get your dual climate controls, easily placed, ventilated seats and heated seats. Look at the aluminum trim. Look at the red accent LED lighting here. Looking really clean. Bright aluminum start-stop button. You have a little bit of gloss black, just a little bit. Dynamic mode select knob. So this is the knob that you twist to go through the different drive modes. I love the way they put the Acura badge there. Just simple placement of things makes everything so perfect, and you can individually set up things by just hitting that button very nicely or selecting the different modes, which is great. This is going to control that 10-speed automatic transmission. And then as we come to the center console here, flat black. Now you do have this mouse trackpad, but it's not like what you think. This is actually the screen. So if you want to access something on the screen, you hit home. And say I want navigation. Navigation's in the upper right. I just hit in the upper right, and it actually changes the screen. So I like the way it's not like a regular trackpad. And then this is going to adjust that portion on the right to different readouts. Let me show you how it works. So Victor's going to show you the screen. I'm going to hit home. Say I want navigation. I just hit right there, and there's our navigation. And that little side pad actually allows me to scroll through different information, which is great. I love the way they have that set up. Super clean on the graphics, and everything is wonderful. More of that aluminum trim. You got a little side pocket here, which is great. That's where you'll be able to put a banana very easily. Nice banana holder. 2 cup holders. Here is your Acura key fob. Very tasteful, very classy. Love the buttons on the back. You have a nice palm rest. Wireless charging for your phone. Semi-soft on the armrest, but I am really digging the stitching, the nice red stitching. Lift this up. Let's see what we have. Nice. 12 volt, 2 USBs, and an aux jack. And then you could easily put 1, 2, 3, 4. I would say probably 1,200 grand bars. So if you love 100 grand, if you want 100 grand, you may not be able to fit it in cash, but you definitely can fit it candy bar style in the center console area. And then the seats, A-Spec specific. Alcantara going down the center, the red stitching, nice size bolstering. Look how classy everything looks with a little bit of piping. You have your electric seat controls for both the passenger and the driver, and you got a standard sunroof, which is great. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind this NSX derived steering wheel in our TLX. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel of this Acura TLX A-Spec. Now, when we talk about the interior, when you go A-Spec, that's where you're getting the nice aluminum trim like I showed you on the passenger side. For the driver, you do have 2 memory seat settings. This red stitching looks great, and that is with the A-Spec trim. Love the speaker covers, especially the ELS Studio 3D sound system. You're gonna get really clear sound. You have a nice sill panel to welcome you in, remind you that you got the A-Spec, and then check out the pedals. Great size dead pedal, brake pedal, and throttle, all aluminum, looking really clean. Seats. The seats are 12-way adjustable for both the driver and the passenger, and they're really comfy. Just a little bit of bolstering up top, not too much down below. Could be a little bit more, but you know what? Overall, super comfortable and supportive. Steering wheel, like I told you, this is derived directly from the Acura NSX. Love the flat bottom. You got your A-Spec badge, the red stitching all the way around, crisscross. Love the horn button, super clean. Little bit of silver, everything is flat black with those thumb wheel controls. You're gonna get 2 paddles. My Zonkas, they're a little bit on the small side and they're plastic, but very easy to reach as you are holding the steering wheel, which is great. And then the dash. I know a lot of people were hoping for full digital, but you know what? They did a great job with the analog gauges, especially with the nice aluminum finish to them. And then you have that display in the center where you could toggle through a cornucopia of information. You even have a G meter up in that upper right-hand corner and a turbo boost gauge in the upper left-hand corner because we're in sport mode. And as you go through the different modes, you can see how it changes in that center section. So there's sport, everything is red, looking racy, looking clean. Room. So I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of headroom, plenty of width. The new chassis is not only helping the exterior, but also the interior. Let's go ahead and check out that back seat and see how your passengers are gonna like riding in your A-Spec. All right, guys, back seat time. Now your back seat passengers are gonna really enjoy, just like up front, the extra room back here. The leather is just so supple, especially with the Alcantara. I like the way they just have these one-piece backs. This top portion, you'll be able to keep clean from your kids sticking their greasy fingers all over the place, especially if they're eating like a jelly donut back here. You'll be able to wipe that down. Good sized pocket. Why not put a dictionary in there? Have them read Webster's Dictionary. Let them educate themselves while they're in the back. You do have 2 AC vents, which is nice, but the Zonk, no connectivity. No USB, no 12 volt. There's not even like a place to write letters back here and send somebody a letter or a postcard that you haven't sent in a long time. That's what people used to do before email and stuff and text messages. You'd actually write a letter, but you do have AC vents, just no connectivity. But these seats are great. I do love the way they're kind of pitched back, the softness to them. Armrests, they knocked that one out of the park. Look at that. Soft as a whole box of Charmin. You got a nice place for some Skittles and 2 cup holders. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out that trunk and see how much space is in the new TLX. All right, guys, time to get into the trunk. What I love is the way they kind of discreetly hide the trunk release button right in that taillight housing. You hit, it opens up. You have a pretty decent size opening, 13.2 cubic feet of space. The good news is I love the way Acura has the handles conveniently placed. You just pull these and the rear seats will do a 60-40 tango split so you could get longer objects in and out of the TLX. The one thing to be aware of is that there is no spare. You get a can of flat fix and an inflator, no spare on the A-Spec. But why don't we go ahead, if you're ready, I'm definitely ready. Let's take this A-Spec with SH all-wheel drive for a spin. All right, guys, we left Moss Acura. We're in the 2021 TLX A-Spec, and right away, you are gonna immediately notice all the fantastic changes to the interior. The fit, the finish, the details. The infotainment system screen, definitely a big change from where we came from with the older system of having a split screen setup. And what's great is the way they lowered the dash, this is totally not blocking any visual perspective from looking out the windshield, which is great. It's at a perfect height. It's not a touch screen. You can touch it, but it doesn't do anything because it's kind of, I have to lean forward to touch it. You just use your trackpad and that brings everything out. Visibility out back, even with the larger headrest, is super, super clean. I have it in, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in sport mode. I had it in normal actually. So here's sport mode. We got that wonderful graphic that pops up. And the steering wheel, that's one thing I love. I absolutely love the steering wheel in this TLX A-Spec. The flat bottom, perfect thickness, the two different types of leather that they're using with the perforated on the side and the smooth leather up top. Gauges, yes, I know everybody was hoping for full digital display, but I'm telling you right now, the nice large digital display that you have in the center shows so clear all the different details, and you could scroll through, like I said, a whole smorgasbord full of readouts. I actually have it on the SH all-wheel drive, so when I get on throttle, it'll show me how the power is getting to the ground. I do like the way it's all backlit red LED. That looks super, super clean. Side mirrors, visibility is great. Looking out across the hood, those high ridges that I showed you really are the perfect visual reference points so you can see where you are in your lane or as you're going down your favorite twisty road. All right, guys, let's get a little bit of on throttle, see how that all-wheel drive works. I'm gonna come to a dead stop, even on the ripped up pavement. We're gonna test the all-wheel drive system on throttle. Here we go. Nice smooth shifts. Great sound coming into the cabin. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. That double wishbone suspension handles amazing. Literally, I'm telling you right now, I'm shocked. I could actually push it harder through those twisty bits than I actually did. The feedback, really, really great. And not to say that in an Acura or Honda product, you didn't already have good feedback. Great feedback, and she felt light on her feet, which is wonderful. And I felt like if I pushed a little bit harder, that back end would have just came out a little bit to help me square off the corner. And that really just shows all of the great work that they have put into this new chassis on this 2021 TLX. All right, guys, once again, we're going to really showcase what the new TLX is all about. So on throttle, super smooth. Really nice, look at that, wow. So let me just tell you what happened there. When we were going to that right-hand turn, that's a decreasing radius turn, tightens up on you. She held the line perfect and really felt good, communicated well. I could feel what was going on at the front of the car with that double wishbone suspension, and definitely out back with the multi-link independent rear suspension. And to put it back into normal mode, real simple. You just twist the knob and there we are back into normal mode. I could hit this again and go back into regular drive. So it's really nice how they have it so simple to get into the different modes. It's not like you need a special code, a special password, or a door knock or something like that. It's just straightforward. You have your dynamic mode selector knob switch here, and you just go into exactly what you want. 1, 2, 3 like that. Seats are comfortable. Wish there was a little bit more bolstering, especially on the bottom. There's not much bolstering whatsoever, but they are comfy. And since they are multi-positionable, that 12-way positionable seat, you do have such a adjustment and flexibility to get it to fit to your body type. Of course, the steering wheel is tilting and telescoping. It is manual though, just one thing to be aware of. But boy, oh boy, everywhere you touch, everywhere you look, it feels absolutely amazing in here, which is great. You know, another thing I'm really liking and noticing about the new TLX is the sound deadening. It's very quiet in here, even when you go up an over-ripped pavement. Soaks up the bumps nicely, nothing jarring. On the A-Spec, there is a little bit of suspension tuning specific for this trim. Brakes feel great, but I'm really, really looking forward to getting behind the wheel of the Type S. And we also have a press fleet vehicle coming soon of the TLX A-Spec super handling all-wheel drive, and I can't wait to really showcase in depth for a week just how good this car really is. So definitely want to stay tuned for that, but hopefully this gave you a nice overall feel about what Acura is bringing with the A-Spec trim on the new TLX. We're going to get back to Moss Acura and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day here at Moss Acura of North Tampa. Definitely want to thank Albert and the rest of the crew getting us access to their very first 2021 TLX A-Spec with the super handling all-wheel drive. It just really shows that Acura is making the changes, making the updates, and really focusing on that precision crafted performance because they want to be at the top of your list, especially if you're looking for a mid-size sedan with that sporty feel. The performance from the turbocharged engine, the all-wheel drive, really gave a nice invigorating feel, and with the way that the suspension is set up now, really kept us handling very well and planted to the ground. But if you want to keep seeing sports sedans like these on Rady's Rise, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rady's Rise merch. Got to get out to Crown Vic. It's a nice day. It's a sunny day. He's doing great. He got his Porsche tattoo done on his back, so all is well with Victor. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.